Alright guys, welcome back to the MiniFez channel. So this weekend I played in the Kongs Cards PS5 tournament. I got top 8, losing the top 8 cup to Ryan Yu. The main reason I lost was game 3 I bricked, and because I cut a certain card in my extra deck, I couldn't unbrick myself. So I'll talk about what card that was later on in the deck profile, but yeah, let's just get right into it. So obviously we played Connector as the normal summon. It's the best normal summon in the deck. Gives you free hand knowledge so you know how to use your interruptions. Lets you rip hand traps out the hands, and it lets you see if there's like a nib so you can play around the nib throughout your combo. And then obviously the Aqua Dolphin. And then for the INFERNOBLE cards, we only play one of each because you don't need to play more than one of each. Like, you could play 2 copies of Ogier, but that's only if you don't have the wanted package. You can play 2 or 3 of this, like more copies of Renaud as well. But since you have the wanted package, you don't need to play more than one of each INFERNOBLE. And then Turpin, Oliver, Magius, Renaud, Ricardetto. They're all the INFERNOBLEs you play one of. You could play a Stolfo, but I just find it too bricky to play, to be honest. Gearfried is just a monster negate. Summoning this after you see a nib is pretty good. You usually want to find a way into this if you see your opponent have a nib in hand. If not, you can go for an Appaloosa line, but I'll talk about it later. We've got 1 red layer, 1 Flint Azor fire extenders. They're just free special summons. This is good also into Mekanko because you can tribute summon over the Acid Golem or Iblilock. And Searching Fire Flint is nice because it lets you extend through like an imperm on Connector or something. Plus this is another level 1 fire warrior, so if you've already been through Renaud and Ricardetto, it's another target for the wanted stuff. Then we played the 1 Rota, searches all the monsters in your deck. Heritage searches all the monsters and spells on your deck. Free Museum searches Durendal and Almace and lets you special from the equip zone, which is crazy. Also, during the UK Open, I thought this only added from deck and not graveyard. So now that I've fully read the card, I've realized that I should have been playing free for the UK Open, but it is what it is. I have now fully read the card, so I'm playing free. So this lets you play around draw rather than make you lose the draw. Then free Museum. Then for the equip spells, we played 2 Durendal. You could play free, but I just felt free is too bricky, and you can play 1, but cutting down to 1 means you start running out of targets for Museum, and it means you have to send Magius early just to be able to activate Museum. And then Almace just has the other equip spell name. It's basically a 3rd copy of Durendal, but it also has its secondary effect to add back Fire Warriors. So that's how you can add back Gearfried most of the time. And then the non-noble arms are DDR, Angel Ring, DDR, and Phoenix Blade. Angel Ring's nice to play around Dark Ruler, Droplets, and Super Poly. This is infinite discard fodder, plus ways to trigger Angelica, and paired with this summons anything in your grave, basically. Then for the wanted stuff, just the standard package, 3 wanted, and then 1 of Witch and Original. Then we played for our hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Draw, 3 Imperm. So we played 12 hand traps, and that's why we are at 43 cards. I wanted to increase the chances of seeing 2 hand traps in almost every hand, so that's why I'm on 12 hand traps, because going second in this deck is weird because it does have a lot of extenders, but you have a lot of choke points as well. But as long as you see like 2 or 3 hand traps every hand, you're pretty much winning every game, to be honest. And then extra deck, we played 2 years old. The second one is not cuttable, it comes up way too much. 2 Charles, you usually end on 2 copies of this turn 1. Appaloosa, if you draw Connector plus Renaud, you can get to Appaloosa on your 6th summon, but if they nib you on your 5th summon, you still have 4 combo past that point. But if they let you proceed, you just make Appaloosa and then combo anyway. Link Spider, this is usually what you turn the nib token into Link Spider, then you can send it off original Sinful Spoils, or it's a way so you can trigger SP's Banish effect. And then we played 2 SP for this event. Now the card which would have came up in game 3 against Ryan was Flame Swordsman. So the hand which I opened in that game was Aquadolphin, Fenrir, Angel Ring, Magius, Renaud. So if I played Flame Swordsman, I could have just gone Fenrir, normal Aquadolphin effect, rip the ash out his hand, which I knew was there after playing into it. But I could have ripped the ash out of the hand, make the Flame Swordsman link special Renaud, then make a Zord and 4 combo. But because I didn't play it, it meant that when I made Angelica, he ashes me adding the field spell, and then I tried to play past that by going equip Magius onto Angelica to send from deck, but he chains the Furniture Labyrinth, so that dismisses timing. So then I tried to equip Angel's Ring to Angelica, but he has the second Furniture to make this miss timing again. So basically I end up just passing on this and Fenrir, which was not ideal. Then we played a 1 Roland for Angelica plus to trigger Charles and Baron. Pretty standard. And then we played the 1 Dempsey. This comes up a lot. It's 100 times better than Artorigus. It's a Fire Warrior, whereas Artorigus isn't. Plus you can play into draw with this, because you can send cards from your deck to grave. So you can send stuff like Turpin or Magius, and then like there was one game where I just sent Magius and I had Oliver engraved, so I just made an untargetable, undestroyable by battle Dempsey and just controlled the game when I just had nothing. And then I was able to grind the game out and draw a starter and then kill. And then Baguska. We play 1 Baguska because when we get shifted, we just Baguska pass really, because you can't really make a good end board on the shifter. Like you can get to SPIP. SP is old, and then you can banish Isolde of the SP, so you have it for follow-up. But I think just passing on Baguska is better, to be honest. And then the last card is Typhon. When you're struggling to outboards, you can just slap this on to finish the job. Side deck, we played 3 DD Crow. This card was insane throughout the tournament, especially against Pearly. Hitting the Lily target was insane all event. Like seeing this alongside any other hand trap that we're playing is just insane, really. Because I saw Vela, DD Crow, and that was enough to end the Pearly player's turn. We also played free Fenrir plus Rise Heart. This package is insane going second. I even sided it in going first sometimes. Like, it has a lot of bad matchups. Like, it's not that great into Pearly, so I don't side this into Pearly. But there's a lot of matchups where this just carries the game, to be honest. Because it forces out the interruptions from your opponent, and then you can just combo afterwards. I played a 1 Subversion for the Wanted package. I didn't really end up using it in the event, but I just like the option of it being there. But it's probably going to get replaced at some point, but I'm just trying to figure out what for. Duster, like, same with Duster, like, it's just a one-off that you're not likely to see. It's good into back row decks, but you already kind of have a good back row deck matchup. So I might just side these two out for like 2 hand traps in the side deck. Maybe even cutting the Rise Heart for a playset of like Nib. I don't know, I'll have to do more testing. I sided free Book of Moon. This was literally just for Pearly, because the Pearly matchup is really bad, because if they can get to no R, you have basically no outs other than battle, or just setting up your own monster they can't out. But yeah, like, Book of Moon was pretty insane against Pearly, of course. It was even good just like in general, like against Unchained, setting Caesar, and going first. Sometimes just setting monsters just made my opponent's pass turn. And then Cosmics just for floodgates, really, like Tikaboo, Zombie World, all that jazz. And summon limits from the Pearly players. But yeah. The list felt pretty insane, like, other than me cutting Flame Swordsman and stopping my plays. So I think I might try Flame Swordsman at like locals and see if it comes up enough to warrant it being in the extra deck. But if not, I'll probably replace it with like a Link 1. Just as another way to get SB's Banish effect alive. But yeah, that has been the deck profile. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll respond to all the comments down below on my matchups and everything if you guys want to know them. Shout outs, obviously shout out Red Lotus, shout out OTK. I also forgot to make shout outs for some shout outs for my UK Open deck list. So I'm gonna shout out Paul for lending me Frost for the event, and Michael for lending me Frost. So thanks to them for lending me cards for the UK Open. I forgot to mention it at the time, but I'll mention it now. And then shout out Travis for testing with me all the time, my teammate. And yeah, also shout out to Gabriel Susi. I think he convinced me to play hand traps over board breakers, to be honest, and I think I agree with him that hand traps are just better right now than board breakers like Super Poly. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.